They started with a single hand-built bicycle. Now they're battling Tesla in the global EV war. But the journey from scrap metal to sleek electric cars, it nearly destroyed them. This is the unbelievable rise of Kia, a company born in war, reborn in crisis, and now racing into the future with electric supercars and a $100 billion vision. But behind their success is a story of bankruptcy, betrayal, and one risky move that could have wiped them off the map forever. In 1944, in a small, war-torn corner of South Korea, a tiny company called Kyungsung Precision Industry built its first product. Not a car, not even a motorcycle, but a bicycle. Handmade, unreliable, and barely marketable. But it was all they had. The founder, Chul-ho Kim, had one dream: to modernize Korea's transport, one step at a time. And then, the Korean War broke out. Factories were bombed. Infrastructure was destroyed. The country was divided. Most companies didn't survive. But Kia did. How? Because they adapted. They didn't just make bikes. They started making parts, pipes, tools, anything the army or government needed. They didn't wait for peace. They worked through the chaos. By the 1970s, Kia finally entered the auto industry, but not in the way you'd think. They were building licensed vehicles for companies like Mazda and Fiat. No identity, no recognition, just a silent worker in someone else's empire. For decades, Kia cars weren't even allowed to carry their own name in most markets. That's when things took a dark turn. In 1997, the Asian financial crisis hit. Entire nations were collapsing financially. South Korea was bleeding jobs, companies were defaulting on debt, and Kia went bankrupt. Completely. Imagine building your company for 50 years, and watching it vanish in a matter of months. What would you do if everything you built came crashing down in one financial tsunami? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you'd have done in Kia's shoes. But this is where the story shifts, not ends. Because out of the shadows came an unlikely savior, Hyundai. Their biggest rival. Hyundai, fresh off their own struggles, saw an opportunity. They bought 51% of Kia and absorbed it into their automotive group, not as a puppet, but as a partner. And that's when Kia changed forever. They hired Peter Schreier, the German designer behind the iconic Audi TT, and gave him one mission: give Kia a face, a soul, an identity. The result? The Tiger Nose Grille. Suddenly, people weren't laughing at Kia anymore. They were staring. But still, they were seen as the budget car. Good price, average quality, nothing special. Until the EV revolution came knocking. Kia didn't want to be last. They wanted to leapfrog ahead. So they gambled, again. In 2021, they unveiled the EV6, their first fully electric platform car. Bold design, racing performance, and prices that undercut the competition. Critics were shocked. The EV6 won Car of the Year in Europe. Consumers didn't just buy it, they waited months for it. Now, Kia is pouring over $100 billion into EVs, autonomous driving, and mobility services. They're not just chasing Tesla, they're rewriting their identity again, from the cheap car company to a clean tech pioneer. But here's the question: was it worth it? They lost control of their company, got swallowed by their rival, and risked everything on design and batteries. Would you have made that call? Or would you have stayed safe and faded quietly? Let me know in the comments, because this was a comeback few believed in. Kia's journey is more than a business case, it's a masterclass in resilience. From welding bicycles to battling bankruptcy, from borrowing designs to creating icons, from failure to full reinvention, Kia proves that identity isn't given, it's earned, forged in the fires of crisis. And when your back is against the wall, the riskiest move might just be the one that saves you. If this story moved you or made you think differently about Kia, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories of wild comebacks and risky financial moves. And tell us in the comments, what's your favorite underdog company story?